flow getting better. I thought that I told you I'd be here forever. I'm giving God my time, my treasure and talent is making me better. I vision the sweater, the cross on the back, the holiest get up. I'm loving the pressure, it's making the diamond shining forever. If you fall, then get up. You still on the road, you don't gotta catch up. A devil gon' press up. I'm watching my dribble, I'm keeping my head up. I know it's a setup, a table in front of my enemies. It's easy to show you the way. You gotta follow your destiny, you gotta follow your path. You gotta stay in your bed for real. I know that he gon' lead me to green pastures, so I don't really get mad for real. We ain't on TV, so why you an actor? Come out, you don't show no emotion. If it's my heart, my soul, I show it. If you a player, you can't be coached. If you really ballin', you can't be open. Cause the enemy always gon' double team. Call it V cause I just had another dream. When I pray, the Lord telling me what it means. I got vision like Bruno with me. I don't know how the story will go, but know if I stick to the code, you'll go inside of my soul and pull out the pieces that broke. A lot of people want the pros, but they don't want the process. A lot of goals, less stress. A lot of talk, less steps. I need a call, no text. If you don't get no response, I'm probably at my desk. No, this ain't my best, but if you stay for a while, might see a couple moves and know this ain't like chess. You know it ain't about religion, I know they ain't go like this. Swiping credit for the music, money I ain't even had. You gotta take a light risk, you gotta bet up on yourself. Trust ain't nobody else can put the bread on you. I'm out here giving out the sauce, but all they wanted was the juice. All they wanted was the proof. It's all in the pudding, man, you can go get it now. X told me back then, why you doing music? I don't see it working out. Used to send SoundCloud links on Snapchat, they ain't check it out. Now they telling me that my music all they friends really talk about. If I don't walk it, don't talk about. Don't need a blicky on me, I get a spirit for free. Hey, they want a trick of the treat, I put a stick in the beat. Time my heart was racing, you see it skipping the beat. Time my heart was racing, you see it skipping the beat. The flow getting better, I thought that I told you I'd be here forever. I'm giving God my time, my treasure and talent is making me better. I vision the sweater, the cross on the back, the holiest get up. I'm loving the
Y'all hear me? All right. Peace. Peace in here, Greece. All right. Now we back at it. Another Word of Wisdom Wednesday. Try to give you some wisdom on a Wednesday. So you see the title. There's a good shepherd. And what we're going to look at is a little bit of information on what a good shepherd look like, how to identify a good shepherd, what we should all try to be patterning, this is a pattern of how we're supposed to be, or even so-called shepherds or leaders. This is how it's supposed to look. So we're gonna look at it a little bit, and we're gonna try to compare it to what we experience now as a so-called service of God, right? We're gonna see if these the shepherds we interact with or we experience nowadays, we're gonna see if they're light with what a shepherd is in this day. So for beginners, let's get some understanding on what a shepherd is real quick. Let's see what a shepherd is real quick. Okay. So we're gonna go to what's this? Jeremiah. We ain't gonna go to Jeremiah. I'm just grabbing this word out of there. All right, so this is the word shepherd. This is ra'al in the Hebrew 7462. To pasture, tend, that's the key word. Grace. Let's see what it gives us. Let's get the real word here we're looking for. Now it says break a companion or devour, eat up. Well, that's because that's what they was doing in that chapter. We're gonna read it, but we're looking at this word here just to let you know. That's what shepherd mean. Pastor. Pastor means shepherd. It ain't talk about somebody that stand up in front of you every weekend. That's not. Shepherd is just a leader. Leader of the flock. Okay. So with a leader of the flock, the leader of a flock is supposed to tend to a sheep, right? That's who's supposed to tend to the sheep, the leader, the shepherd, the pastor. They tend to the flock. right? So, I seen a couple questions. Even a brother, one of the brothers, Javars, he had, or priest, priest to the nations. Somebody had asked, should your pastor know your financial state? And they should know or be concerned, because how else would they know to help? But pastors, shepherds, in this day and time, they're not looking to help. They just looking for you to give them money or whatever so they can do this or that with. I was talking to a brother, last week, about that. We give them all our money, but we in poverty. And they just watch us be in poverty. You know what? They're not only watchers, they try to give us scriptures to counsel us on being, or that it's okay to be in poverty. Like, that's what God wants, just suffer yourself to be the father. All type of weird stuff, all type of scriptures they use out of context. And that's what make it weird. I'm not calling the Bible weird at all. It's just the people that's using it. And that's why you have people that don't believe the Bible anyway, because of how it's been used and mistaught by these so-called shepherds, right? We can read in Acts 10 where Christ came to preach the gospel and healed all those that were oppressed of the devil. Nowadays, when it comes to the devil oppressing us, see, we think it's some sci-fi stuff, right? But who does Satan work through? Men. How does God work? Through men. So even at that time, the Roman Empire was oppressing them. So you can even read examples where the doctors and physicians was trying stuff on the woman, couldn't heal her. In other words, experimenting. And that's what we have today. They call experimental treatments and all type of stuff. But as a shepherd, we're supposed to heal the flock from that. We're supposed to direct them in the way they should go. But when we religify and make everything so non-tangible, it just don't give nobody no hope. So we're going to try to restore that hope, so people can really see or begin to see the kingdom of heaven, which is at hand. Okay? So let's, give me 1 second. My bad. I do this probably every time. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. All right, let's go to Jeremiah 23. We're going to pick it up. We're going to pick this thing up. Go to Jeremiah. No. Let's go to Ezekiel 34. I read this a few weeks ago. We're going to read it again because it aligns with what we read. It aligns with what we're talking about, what the title is. So this is Ezekiel 34. Ezekiel 34. And we're going to read it. We're going to go to Zechariah. We're going to see some things real quick. And hopefully this, hopefully this awakens something within you. Okay? And then you have options. See, when the truth is presented, it gives you a little more options than you had previously. You can do something about it. Okay. So this is Ezekiel 34:1. Ezekiel 34:1. And All right, Ezekiel 34:1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Pastors, shepherds, one and the same. That's what we saw already, right? Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Like I mentioned, we give all our money and time to these organizations, and they don't have no time or money for us when we need them. Matter of fact, we just sit there and call ourselves working for the Lord. They say, you working for the Lord, suffering. Right? No. You're actually being oppressed and misused and abused by these devils who claim the name of the Lord. Remember, he said in James, the devils believe and tremble. So you could have an outward showing of all this, but the action the actions tell you everything. You can make it look good because you could call on a name and make things sound good. No, but real recognize real. And that means the spirit, that's why he said, try the spirits, whether it be of God. You only listening to a lesson or something. It's a lot more than that. Pay attention to the things that take place when they're not on camera or not on stage. Pay attention. Your salvation is at hand. At a risk. Because you could be thinking you doing everything right or you serving God. Well, it could be according to your own righteousness. Peace. So he said in verse 2, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God unto the shepherds, Woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves. Pay attention. Peace to y'all. There's a lot of these, all of them. He said many false prophets, teachers Saturday, Sunday, do not matter. They feed themselves. You know how we know they feed themselves? Because they don't have no problem getting to and fro, go anywhere, eat wherever they want. But for the congregation or the flock, you hear all type of drama, distresses, all of that. That is indicative of them feeding themselves, the shepherds. So we're going to look at a good shepherd. Well, we need to make you realize in real time, in real life, who you around, if you have a good shepherd or not. Okay. Verse 3, let's confirm it. You eat the fat and you clothe you with wool. You kill them that are fed, but you feed not the flock. Oh yeah, you good. And your so-called workers around you, your partners, yeah, they good too. Verse 4, here's the problem. He said, woe to you already. Here's the problem. The disease have you not strengthened. He said, you haven't strengthened them. What does that mean? You haven't strengthened them? You haven't strengthened them? What does that mean? Did I mean, oh yeah, send them to the hospital? Is that what you think it means? Send them to the devil himself, right? Send them right into pharmakia, right? Is that what he's saying, do? The disease have you not strengthened. And if there's something profound here, I'll show it to you. But if not, it's just strength. It's just strength. You ain't strengthening them. Wow. Okay. We may revisit that word. He said, the disease have you not strengthened, neither have you healed that which was sick. And when we think of the term heal nowadays, we think of some invisible superpower stuff that you got to do. You're not even taking into consideration that Christ told people to go to the water and bathe. Like I was sent a video earlier in the week where somebody had eczema or their child had eczema and they went down to where there was salt water. Ooh, excuse me. Yeah, I know, huh? They went down there where it was salt water and it was starting to heal their eczema. Christ healed a man. What did he tell him to go dip in the pool of Siloam, I believe? You can read about Elisha telling people to dip in certain water. Even when the brother was blind, what did Christ do? He spit into the earth and made mud. Then you look up the healing properties of mud. What does it do? It can restore your eyes. But if you're not concerned about the well-being of your flock, if you think being a shepherd is just getting up in front of people and talking, that's not no real leader. You can read examples. You go to Luke 15. That sheep was lost. He went all through to grab that sheep. See, the other 99 that was straight, but that one of them had a problem. So he did all he could to return or to restore that sheep. But nowadays, what are they doing? They tell you how good they got it and how the Lord blessed them. I got this and that, million, blah, blah, blah. I got this building, that building. Who gives a goddamn? How we benefit from that? There's another big old barn, huh? Just like we probably read in Luke 12. There's another barn, huh? To bestow your fruits. Because nobody benefit from them. Nobody. We still suffering, sick, all that. What good are these shepherds? They no good. The disease, verse 4, the disease have you not strengthened? Man, neither have you healed that which was sick. Let's look up healed so we can let's look up healed real quick so we can show you it's not necessarily like something we can't do. You know, and these same people tell you we can't heal people. They got to be working for the devil. What kind of faith is that? It's none. Like the Lord said, you limited the Holy One of Israel. Yeah, that's a fact. Ezekiel. Hold on. I'm in Ezekiel already. Go to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 34. What verse was that? We in 4. Let's see. Heal. What we got? Let's look at the word heal real quick. Come on now. Don't start playing with me now. All right. This is 7494. Rapha. To heal. Cure. Look at that. There's many cures. But you got to find them, right? If you're really concerned about the flock, you would go look for them. You ain't going to send them to no hospital. You ain't going to send them to nobody that don't even worship God, who relying on witchcraft. Cause to heal. Find a way for them to be healed. A physician. Repair. We talking about a real one. A healer. Repair. You're not trying to do none of that. Thoroughly make whole. You ain't trying to make sure, folks. You're not even trying to find out how to do it. You send them to your local pharmacy and thinking you helping. No, you hurting them, actually. You think the Lord is in those places? Do you really think you working for God, sending people to those type of places? God created the heavens and the earth. He said every herb of the field in Psalms 104 is for the use of man. That's not what they're using. But you caught up in religion and whatever helps you out, whatever make you look good. That's what they'll do. Whatever get them, they just nothing but a bunch of salesmen. That's all. And I don't mean salesmen for the kingdom of God, sales for their organization and for themselves. People still going there 20 years, ain't healed yet. But God blessing them. Come on, bro. You got to wake up. We're looking for a good shepherd. Peace. Peace to y'all tuning in. We're looking for a good shepherd now. You don't know how to compare them, do you? It's because they keep the Sabbath? No, sir. That ain't it. That ain't it. The disease have you not strengthened, neither have you healed that which was sick, neither have you bound up that which was broken, neither have you brought again that which was driven away, neither have you sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have you ruled them. That's how we get ruled by these so-called shepherds. They bear rule by their means. They do what they want to do. And they said the people love to have it so. That which is lost, you said, oh yeah, they probably wouldn't keep the commandments. Something happened to somebody, yeah, that's just, they dealing with their past sins, God punishing them. Yep, that's it. These is not prophets of God. These are not shepherds of God. Anybody that's speaking or teaching that or operating in that manner, they working for the devil. Don't matter if they keep a Sabbath day. You trying to keep, how you keeping a Sabbath day with a doggone devil? And you think God pleased? Oh yeah, but I'm keeping the Sabbath. No. Can two walk together except they be agreed? So you telling me you agree with the devil, but you can't be partakers of the Lord's table, and the tables of devils. So much for you trying to talk about, oh yeah, I'm still keeping the Sabbath. I know they wicked though, but bro, you know, we got to keep that doesn't make any sense. These people are ruling with force and cruelty. These are not shepherds of God. That's why he said, woe to them. These are wicked people, man. All right. Where do I want to go, man? Let's go to Jeremiah, like I said at first. Do I want to go to Jeremiah? You know what? We're going to come back to Jeremiah. Let's go to what? Amos? Amos, I think. Amos 6. You got to wake up. You got to operate in truth. That's the reality. Wake up. Y'all know y'all seen it on the movie before. Wake up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Was it Amos? Amos. Is it 6? Yeah, let's look at Amos 6. And we're going to read something else too. It might be an 8. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Amos 6 and verse 1. Amos 6 and 1. Take a look. He says, woe to them that are at ease in Zion and trust in the mountain of Samaria, which are named chief of the nations, to whom the house of Israel came. Pass you unto Calneh and see, and from thence go ye to Hamath the great. Then go down to Gath of the Philistines. Be thy better than these kingdoms, or their border greater than your border? Okay. Verse 3, ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seat of violence to come near. Let's look at this Amos 6 and 3. Let's look at this violence. Let's see if we can find out something about this violence. He said, you put away the evil day. Like, that ain't going to happen. And you draw the seat of what? Violence to come near? Let's see. Let's see what this means. And my internet's tripping. Y'all give me a second. They messing with me right now. Somebody messing with me for sure. All right. There we go. Go to Amos. Where we at? Amos 6. Amos chapter 6. And what verse we want, y'all? We want what verse is that? 3. Let's see. Let's see what we want. Because we read in Ezekiel that these shepherds, they just feed themselves. That's what they're concerned about. They're not really concerned about the flock. You got people going to the church, sleeping in their car, all type of stuff. How is that happening? And then you tell us how much the Lord blessed you and you got in the bank. Come on now. Look what they doing, man. All right. Violence. Y'all bear with me. It ain't me. I pay my cable bill. Well, I don't have cable. I pay my internet bill. Y'all bear with me. You know what? Y'all can read it on your own, because we ain't finna do all this, man. We ain't gonna do all this. I ain't gonna fight with it. I'm gonna tell you what it is. Violence, unjust gain, Hamas. So you cause this injustice to come near. That's why I mentioned, man. All these ways of getting money, most of them are beneficial to the rich. And you step on the poor to get it. That's why we talk about paying everybody a fair wage. That means splitting it throughout equally. That's what a good shepherd does. Split everything down the middle. Everything's equal. But nowadays they tell you, you get these people, they start little classes and all that. They get donations and all that. And they get it, like, say you get $10,000, you got 5 workers, right? Instead of splitting it down the middle for everybody, they'll take 8,000 to make you split the 5. But that's violence. That's injustice. That's unjust gain. That's not justice. That's not kingdomship, kingdom business, none of that. That's actually violence. And when you do that, you do things like that, you putting far away the evil day. Like it ain't gonna happen. Like the Lord ain't gonna come for you. So we in verse 3, he said, ye that put far away the evil day and cause the seat of violence to come near. What else y'all be doing? That lie upon beds of ivory. See, they good. And stretch themselves upon their couches and eat the lambs out of the flock and the calves out of the midst of the stall. They got it. They ain't missing no meals. They ain't worried about nothing. Remember? Ezekiel saying the same thing. Amos saying the same thing as Ezekiel. Verse 5, that chant to the sound of the viol and invent to themselves instruments of music like David. Make it look good. Oh, the Lord with us. We having a feast here. We having a party here. We having a drive here. We having a get together here. All in the name of the Lord. But nobody's really benefiting. What else y'all be doing? Verse 6, that drink wine in bowls and anoint themselves with the chief ointment, but they are not grieved for the affliction of Joseph. They're not worried about the people. They living too good. They got it. They not worried. They're not worried about the people at all. That's not a good shepherd. I'm just giving you an idea of what you probably dealing with compared to how we're gonna see how it's supposed to be. Let's look at something. Follow me. That's all that means. Come with me. Like, let's go to Genesis real quick. 18. We teach out of this. At least at the NMP, we've been learning out of this all the time. We're supposed to be sons of Abraham, what makes us Christ's seed, right? So we can't miss out. We can't avoid him. Abraham, through whom the promise came, right? Genesis 18. Genesis 18 and 18. And then we're going to look at an example of something he did to show you what it looks like to be a good shepherd, right? Ain't no way you should be going to church or something and you starving. You go back home, refrigerator empty. And the best thing they can do for you is send you downtown to the government. That's the best they can do, huh? These are devil worshipers. They don't have to be in no pig pen cutting and slicing for them to worship the devil. No, their actions. That's what Romans 6 and 16 will tell you. Whoever you yield yourselves, your members or servants to, you are servants to whomever you obey, whether of sin unto righteousness or disobedience unto death, or righteous unto life. I might have butchered it, but go ahead and read it on your own. Romans 6 and 16. Excuse me. Genesis 18 and 18. He's saying, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. So when you find out you're an Israelite, are you being blessed when you find out you're an Israelite and start keeping the Sabbath day? Or are you going to this church? You done found the truth. Do you become blessed when you meet them? Since we sons of Abraham and seeds of Christ, we the people, right? Are you blessed when you go meet them? Or did your life get worse? More times than not, your life get worse. And then you know who they blame? They blame God for it and say, oh yeah, he punishing you. Like God really want to hurt you like that. That don't make, come on. Pretend this is a blindfold. Yeah. Take it off. There you go. Take it off. Okay. He said, all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Oh yeah, that's Christ. Yeah, of course. But aren't we the body of Christ? So when you meet these sons of Abraham, you should be blessed, right? So if you claim you starving, you can't pay this, sleeping in your car, this happened and that happened, that's not the right people then. So let's look at it. Verse 19, let's see what it looks like to be a good shepherd. This Jesus or God, I'm gonna say God. This God talking about Abraham. Verse 19, what he say? For I know him. Don't we want to know him too? Let's see what it means to know him. That he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment. So when you being fair to people, honest and equitable to people, that's how you know God. Not because you call yourself going into church on Saturday. or you keep his feast days. That ain't it. I don't know who lied to you. Actually, I do. I know a couple people that lied to you. And they're going to keep doing it. You know why? Because our people love to have it so. Or it's too scared. You scared to speak up against unrighteousness. You scared to step away from sin. Whether it be losing your friends or people going to talk about you. People going to talk about you regardless of what you do. I'll just let you know that now. They talk about you now. They just quiet when you around. When you leave, they be talking again. You in it for the wrong reasons, if that's what's keeping you. God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but a sound mind. Spirit of might. But that's a gift of the Spirit. Some of them try to make you pay for it. But they false prophet. Don't worry about it. Verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he has spoken of him. Yeah, people dealing in equity, oh yeah, you're going to be blessed for sure. Everything fair? Oh yeah. They make sure everybody good? Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a blessing, ain't it? Let's go look at them. Genesis 14. See, this is what the Lord had gathered from Abraham even after the fact. Let's look at beforehand, right? Genesis 14. So this is when they took his nephew and all that, right? With Chel the Lammer and all them. Let's look at it. Let's look at something here. So look, verse 20, we're just going to get right into it. So it said, and blessed be the Most High God, which have delivered thine enemies into thine hand, and he gave him tithes of all. Everything he got from that land over there. And the king of Sodom said unto Abram, give me the persons and take the goods to thyself. All right, look at the response. And Abram said to the king of Sodom, I have lifted up mine hand unto the Lord, the Most High God, the possessor of heaven and earth, that I will not take from a thread even to a shoe latchet, and that I will not take anything that is yours, lest thou shouldest say, I have made Abram rich. Yes, sir. Through Abraham shall all nations, his seed, unit, shall be blessed. Yes, nation, that's what it means. Yes, nation equals his seed or unit. Yes, amen. Yes, sir. He said, I'm not taking nothing from your wicked butt anyway, unless you try to say, I made Abram rich. No, sir. What did he take? He said, what? Save only that which the young men have eaten, and the portion of the men which went with me, Aner, Esco, and Mamre, let them take their portion. Everybody got their fair share. That's what it looked like. That's what a good shepherd looked like. Everybody, he didn't take it for himself. Everybody was good. Let's look at another good shepherd. You know about this one, right? He was a man after God's own heart. Y'all know something about him, right? Y'all ain't even got to say his name. He known by that, ain't he? 1 Samuel 21. You know what? Go to 2 Samuel 22 first. We try to give you both sides of the coin. We do our best at least. Let me confirm that's what I want. Is it 2 Samuel 22? Hold on. We got to read this one. I like it, but I got to find it. Might be 1 Samuel 22. Hold on. 1 Samuel. You know what? Where my phone at? Speed this thing up. Hold on. I got it in my phone somewhere. Hold on. Speed it up. Let me speed this up. Let me find this real quick. We got to read this one. Watch this. 2 Samuel. Yeah, 2 Samuel 23. My bad. We was right there. 2 Samuel 23. I said 22, 23. 2 Samuel 23. Verse 5. 2 Samuel 23 and 5. He says what? You know what? Matter of fact, verse 3. So this is David, right? He said, the God of Israel said, the rock of Israel spake to me, he that ruleth over men must be just, ruling in the fear of God, right? That's the same thing he said about Abraham. He said he gonna do this, him and his children. You would say David was a child of Abraham, wasn't he? You must be just. Verse 6. He says, but the sons of Belial shall be all of them as thorns thrust away. You know why these thorns are being thrust away? Let's see. Because they cannot be taken with hands. See, the Lord can't mold these ones. They know everything, right? Those that behold, they don't need no physician. Lord couldn't help them. They know too much, right? They tell you how old they is, how long they been reading their Bible. They can't learn nothing. They can't be taken with hands. Verse 7, he said, but the man that shall touch them must be fenced with iron and the staff of a spear, and they shall be utterly burned with fire in the same place. Yeah. That's what the wicked shepherds got coming. The ones that feed themselves, when you can't teach them nothing, they can't learn nothing. They got it. Yeah. Anyway, 1 Samuel, what is it, 2 Samuel? No, we got where we was going. 2 Samuel 21, I think. No, 1 Samuel 21, excuse me. 1 Samuel 21. And let's look at this good shepherd here. 1 Samuel 21. And we almost done. You know, we try to keep it light. 1 Samuel 22. Goodness gracious. 1 Samuel 22 and 1. 1 Samuel 22 and 1 says, David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave Adullam. I know some of y'all might remember what this word means or what this cave represented. Hopefully that's big enough for y'all. Hopefully y'all can see that. Let's see. Bang, I know that's better. So the name Adullam, right? He said they went to the cave at Adullam, right? This is the cave of refuge, or what? The justice of the people. From the verb, I don't know how to pronounce that. Don't worry about it. But he's telling us it's either to flee or to be just. So you're fleeing to the just. Ain't that, you think it's a coincidence they met him down there? A man of God's own heart, you think it's a coincidence? No. Let's see who met him down there. Verse 2. And everyone that was in distress. Wow, who's causing this? Who's causing the distress, everybody? These wicked shepherds. Everyone that was in distress and everyone that was in debt. Can we close the book now? Everyone that was in distress, they went to the cave of justice, where David was, the good shepherd. Everybody that was in debt, where did they go to? The cave of justice, where David was, a man after God's own heart. And everyone that was discontented, the people that were waking up, they went to this man after God's own heart. Where was he at? The cave of justice. He said they gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them, a shepherd. And there were with him about 400 men. Wow. Wow. You tell somebody you're in debt, tell some of these folks you're in debt, see what they do. They tell you to go to somebody else, get a doggone loan or something. What do they say? Go, yeah, just bankrupt, brother. So just go bankruptcy. Well, they got $1 million. They just told you they had $1 million last class. Yeah, we got $1 million, the Lord blessing us. Yeah, okay. And then say gain ain't godliness. Well, I think that you think gain is godliness when you talk like that. Goodness gracious. You got to wake up. This is what we try to give you a word of wisdom on a Wednesday, you know. Jeremiah 23, we'll read something in the New Testament. And then we'll be out of here. Matter of fact, this verse, Yeah. Yeah, I think we getting the picture. Verse Jeremiah 23. But I gotta read this one. I ain't even rushing. You know what? We're gonna read a little more. I can't even do y'all like that. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. So they went to the cave of justice. Everybody that was in debt, discontented, distressed. They went to a good shepherd and met him at a cave of justice. Ain't that something? Verse Jeremiah 23:1. Look what it say. Jeremiah chapter 23:1. We're gonna go to Zechariah in a second. He said, woe be unto the pastors, the shepherds, that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. You have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Amos, Ezekiel, saying the same thing as Jeremiah. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doing, says the Lord God. Yeah, you can try to act like you good, right? God bless you. You can deceive yourself. It's real easy to do. He told you in the 17th chapter of Jeremiah. Let's go to Zechariah 3 real quick, though. This is one of the famous scriptures that people use the wrong way. Or at least, unrighteously. And I'll show you what I mean. Zechariah 11, Zechariah 11. Zechariah 11 and verse 3. Look what it says. Zechariah 11 and verse 3. There's a voice of the howling of the shepherds, for their glory is spoiled. A voice of the roaring of young lions, for the pride of Jordan is spoiled. Thus saith the Lord my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them, and hold themselves not guilty. Yeah, your pastor be owning you too. He possess you. Have you doing all this and that for him, and this and that for them, and that and this for her, or whatever? Yeah. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Yeah, this is what they okay to do. This part of you serving God. You working for the Lord. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Yeah, they send you to these same people that's possessing you and slaying you. Yeah, they don't try to heal you themselves, direct you to things that can benefit you. No, they send you right to where somebody get profit off of you. They pass you around. They pass you around. But they blessed though. Their own shepherds do not even pity them. That's how you can have people sick and in distress and in debt, and nothing happens for them. You speaking against God. You coming to me. You should be serving the Lord. There's something you doing wrong. Spoken by a true devil. Let's go into Amos. Let's go back to Amos. I said we was going back, right? Amos 6. We read in the 8. What was we reading? We read about them drinking out of bowls, right? There's something else we wanted to gather out of here. And then we'll read 2 more, and that'll be it. Hosea. Not Amos. We're going to Hosea. And it's another one in Micah too that's called, is it Micah or Malachi? Talk about these folks sacrifice you. You want me to hit that 2 Peter 2, 1 and 3? Yeah, I ain't hit it yet, but I will. You know? Thanks for the encouragement. I'll read that one too. All right, we're going to Hosea chapter 6. And yeah, we'll read one verse here. And I learned this in class with the NNP, of course. Learning a lot with them folks. Look what it say here. Hosea 6 and 8. Wow. Verse 6. Hosea 6 and 6. He said, for I desire mercy and not sacrifice. Yeah, you rather just offer a sacrifice than to show justice to the person next to you. They tell you the same thing in Luke and Matthew. He said, in the knowledge of God. Remember, he talked about he know him, right? He know Abraham. Because he's going to do justice and judgment, right? He said, for I desire mercy and not sacrifice in the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. Verse 7, but they like men have transgressed the covenant. There have they dealt treacherously against me. Look what it say, verse 8. Gilead is a city of them that work iniquity and is polluted with blood. And it ain't just talking about physically killing somebody. You can ruin or commit murder through oppression. Just like you say, if you take a man's last, like it said in the Apocrypha, if you take a man's last, you took their life. It said the same thing in what, Deuteronomy 24. Talk about taking someone's pledge. You taking their last, that's their life. And they'll do it to you. Yeah, offer it. Offer it like the little widow did in Luke. Offer your last, yeah. You got to wake up. Verse 9. And as troops of robbers wait for a man. Yeah, they see you coming. So the company of priests murder in the way by consent, where they commit lewdness. They murder by consent. You know why? Because nobody speak up against it. They okay, they agree with it. They don't stand up against it like you giving them the okay to rob you and murder you. Yep, to take your life. You give it to them. You don't speak against it. You don't speak, maybe you don't know enough, and that's your fault. You have to pray and seek the Lord. You don't need them to do that all the time. Because they really tell you information that benefits them anyway. But he said they murder by consent. Yeah, like we read, we didn't read it, we quoted it. The people loved for the priests to bear rule by their means. So now let's go into, where do you want to go? You said 2 Peter 2. Let's read that. And we'll read 2 more. Let's go to 2 Peter 2. Got people's lives being ruined by these false prophets. That's why I don't care. I say whatever. I don't care. You ruining people, folks ruining people's lives. Don't worry about what I'm saying. It just get worse. The more folks talk and run their mouth, just get a little worse for them. That's all. Won't you just be quiet and do the right thing, you know? That's all you got to do. 2 Peter 2:1. And this is brought to you by Vitae Films via the Bible. 2 Peter chapter 2, verse 1. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies. You know, this sister who was divorced, right? You know, these people gonna tell her that she can't get remarried. She can only be a second wife. That's some garbage, ain't it? They just tell you who they are. Just wake up. False prophets. When we're not scared of false prophets, are we? Bunch of devils. And they preach damnable heresy. That's why everybody waiting on a red heifer that they've been waiting for 20, 30 years. And you know what that causes people to do? Nothing. It causes them to stand still, do nothing. And then you're waiting on the temple to be built, and the Bible don't even say that. No third temple gonna be built and the Pope gonna sit in it. It don't say none of that. It don't even mention none of that. That's a damnable heresy. You know that's gonna get people damned. Because they're just sitting around doing nothing. They're not really learning anything. Talking about you can't get remarried. You can only be a second wife. Are you retarded? Excuse my French. He said, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them. He talked about, I desire sacrifice and mercy in the knowledge of God. This right here says, and he also said, they transgress against him. You bringing in these damnable heresies, you preaching falsely. You are denying the Lord that brought them and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their wicked ways, or pernicious ways, or unclean ways, by reason of whom the way of truth. See, nobody want to hear the truth, really. The real thing, baby. The truth, reality, the real world. Yeah. They're going to speak evil of it. And then in verse 3, it said, and through covetousness, they shall with feigned words make merchandise of you. You just ain't nothing but a slave to them. Give me all your money and work for me. All right, Jeremiah 23. We're gonna read one more in the New Testament. Again, there's much more where this came from, but again, Word Wisdom Wednesday, we try to keep it light. That's why you're gonna find out these Sabbath day teachers and whoever, they're gonna get thrust through. Yeah, you speak lies in the name of the Lord. Yeah. When they find out what's real, you're gonna get your behind slapped up. Talk about a Sunday teach. Just talk about Sunday. Get your lying behind out of here. So he said in Jeremiah 23, he's going to visit them upon the evil of their doings. They scatter his flock. They don't feed his people. Verse 3. And we're going to do a teaching on this verse 3 along with Ezekiel 20 because they're saying the same thing about gathering you into the wilderness of the people, all that. We're going to understand that, Lord willing. Verse 3, he said, I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries whither I have driven them. So you already coming out of her already. Those that are following Christ, you have come out of her already. He said, I will gather the remnant of my flock out of all countries where I have driven them, and I will bring them again to their folds, and they shall be fruitful and increase. And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them. So these leaders here that the Lord's going to set up, they going to feed them. They're going to feed you now. These other folks had you starving, in debt, in distress. What's up? What's up, bro? Peace. These individuals here, they going to feed you. Look what it says in verse 4. And I will set up shepherds over them which shall feed them, and they shall fear no more. You're going to be fearing the bill, the utility guy, anybody, these companies that's charging you, you won't fear them no more. You won't fear none of that no more. Going hungry, none of that. You won't fear none of housing. You won't fear that no more. Nor be dismayed. Let's confirm what I'm saying. Neither shall they be lacking. Yeah, just in case you didn't know. You won't be lacking no more because of these shepherds the Lord setting up, saith the Lord. Now let's go see them. Let's go to John, and we'll read one more after this. Go to John, 10? These were good shepherds. We're looking at what good shepherds do. You ain't going to be lacking with these folks around. John 10. Bunch of doggone devils, man. I do not care about them. They don't get no sympathy. I will go, man, listen, I'm being nice tonight. I'm nice every time. Eventually I won't. It's just the more folks chatter, it's just going to get worse. And they don't have to chatter. It's going to get worse regardless. So it's just going to get worse because people's lives are being ruined by these false prophets. John 10 and 1. He says, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in by the doors is the shepherd of the sheep. So how do you enter into a door, everybody? How do you enter into a door? You walk through it, don't you? Okay, cool. Just confirming. Verse 7, then said Jesus unto them again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. So how do you walk through an individual that's a door? How do you walk? How do you get through him? You have to go his way, right? You have to walk in his steps, right? What did he do? Healed all that was oppressed of the poor, right? He preached deliverance for those that were what? Bound, right? Healing those that were oppressed, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing, right? That's how you go through that door. He's the way, the truth, and the life. You have to do something. Verse 9, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved and shall go in and out and find pasture. You know what that means? You ain't gonna be lacking when you go walk this way. You're gonna inherit the earth. You don't have to wait for him to show up for this to happen. Verse 10, because they don't have to wait for nobody to show up while this happening, do they? Verse 10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. What did he say? Why are they doing this, right? I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. How is Christ working, everybody? Through the vessel, which is you. You are his body. So while they stealing and killing, you're supposed to provide a life that's more abundantly. Christ is going to do it through you by walking in the steps of faithful who? Abraham. So they don't get to just steal, kill, and destroy while we sit there and get abused and have these false shepherds coax us into being abused and not doing nothing about it. They working for the devil. So now let's go to this last place to show you how God worked through his people, right? These good shepherds are all his saints. Let's get an example of them. Acts 3 or Acts 2, excuse me. Acts 2, and I might want to read the other one instead. Yeah, Acts 4. Let's go to Acts 4. This is still the deal right here. Acts chapter 4, this is still the deal. These are good shepherds, right? They're going to feed you and you ain't going to be lacking, no fear, none of that. Okay? Again, Christ worked through his who? His saints or his disciples, right? He said, you are my disciples if you do whatever I say unto you, right? Let's see. Acts 4 and verse 32. It says, the multitude of them that believe were of one heart and of one soul. Now, this was read to a so-called pastor or a servant of God, a so-called one. This was read to him, and he said, yeah, we don't do that here. You working for the devil. And the multitude of them that believe were of one heart and of one soul, neither said any of them that aught of the things which he possessed was his own, but they had all things common, and with great power gave the apostles witness of the resurrection of the Lord Jesus, and great grace was upon them all. See how the Lord get involved? When you start doing his will, yeah, he started to show up for sure. Verse 34, here, this is what we want. Neither was there any of them that lacked. That sounds like Jeremiah 23 with them good shepherds. How is this done? Through the people, through his disciples. Neither was there any among them that lacked, for as many as were possessors of lands or of houses sold them. That's what he was telling to the rich man. Sell what you have, give to the poor. And brought the prices of the things that were sold. And who did they give them to? And laid them down at the apostles' feet. The good shepherds. That's who they laid the goods down at. And what was he going to do with them? Keep them and make a bigger church? And for they going to build another synagogue for they? Let's see what they did. It said in verse 35, and laid them down at the apostles' feet, and distribution was made unto every man according as he had need. So a good shepherd will make sure everybody's okay and no man lacks and there's no fear. Okay? So yeah, I'll catch y'all on the Sabbath, Lord willing. Yeah, you know, we got to preach, man. We got to preach the word, man. We got to make people understand what it is that we must be doing and what to avoid. He said, try the spirits, whether they be of God or not, because many false prophets have went out into the world. And that's why you see many sicknesses, many deaths, many distresses, many debts, because there's many false prophets that have gone out into the world where Christ calls us to be a blessing to the nations. How do we do that? Walking in those faithful steps of Abraham, which are the same steps of Christ, and becoming one and taking care of one another. All right, so we're just looking out for one another because nobody else going to do it for us. All right, so I'll catch y'all on the Sabbath. Lord